Beautiful. All praise to the Most High. Call Yahweh Shem Shai. So we got another servant sisters call. Happy Sabbath. And we're going to get right into it. So we're going to get our foundational precept. We do have a new foundational precept. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 58. It reads, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not vain in the Lord." So we want to always remember that we got to keep going in this walk. Whenever we fall, we got to get up. We got to be unmovable. We can't be shaken up by these spirits, these demons, Satan trying to get us out of spirit. We got to be unmovable. We got to remember why we're in this thing, what we're laboring for. We're trying to make sure that we're making our call and election sure, and that we know in our minds always that it's not in vain. We're not doing this just to do it. We're doing this so that we can make it to the kingdom of heaven, most high willing, and receive the promises that the Most High has for us. So we're gonna get our Psalm 92. Our song for the Sabbath day. This is Psalms 92 in verse 1. A psalm or song for the Sabbath day. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Lord, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Lord, art most high forevermore. For lo, thine enemies, O Lord, for lo, thine enemies shall perish, all the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of an unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Mine eye also shall see my desire on mine enemies, and mine ear shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Con. All praise to the Most High. We got our psalm together. So today I wanted to touch on the spirit of overthinking. The spirit of overthinking. And I feel like we really can't talk about this too much because speaking as a woman, I feel like, a lot of the times us women, we get wrapped up in our thoughts a lot, and sometimes we kind of let them spiral out of control a little bit more than we should. And it's like now we're thinking that we're either lacking faith now, and now we're sad and depressed, or now we're getting angry because we keep thinking and thinking and thinking, and we're assuming things or having an evil suspicion over something. And we don't want Satan, because that's all it is. It's a spirit. And it's Satan ultimately trying to work on our minds to get us to be out the spirit, to think things that aren't true, and things that aren't according to how about Shemir Shai. So, Lord willing, I want to get this. I
Shalom.
want to get Shalawam. Shalawam. You didn't miss nothing. We're going into overthinking today. So this first precept. This is Proverbs 25 and verse 28. It reads, "He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls." So we don't want to be this city. We say this a lot, but we don't want to be the city that just has no defense. Any and everything can just come up in there. There's no type of security. It's just like it's whatever. Any and everybody can come up in here. No. And we got to think about it spiritually, like our mind. When it comes to the spirit of overthinking, we don't want it to be where Satan can just throw any thought. He could just have any thought type pop up. It could be wicked dreams. It could be, just a random wicked thought or dang, this person said XYZ to me. Well, maybe they meant that this, and this happened, and they really hate me, and really, I feel like they want to hurt me, and this and that, or whatever the case may be. Whatever thought that Satan tries to put in our mind, we don't want to be like that city that is broken down and has no walls. We want to be those spiritual cities that have walls built up. You got security at the front door. You got your sword of the spirit to cut up the lies of Satan when they come. Like, oh wait, hold on now. That thought is not of Yahweh Shai. You got to go. You got to go. And that obviously is, it can be easier said than done, especially when sisters are in heavier seasons. You might be going through something might have happened. It might be something in your marriage, it might be something, just in your personal life, loss of a loved one, whatever the case may be. But we want to make sure that we have control over our minds. And I know last week we talked about the reprobate mind and how, I mentioned how a lot of the times I say that this truth is a mind game. Like if you can conquer your mind, you're invincible. You're invincible. If you can control the thoughts you think, the thoughts you entertain, because granted, again, Satan, he'll come and have all types of madness, folly, wickedness, rebellious thoughts come to your mind that you didn't want to think that, but it just popped in your mind randomly. Because we're under spiritual attack. We're in a spiritual warfare. So, we got to make sure that we have the right tools to be able to fight against these spirits, the spirits of overthinking, these wicked thoughts that try to come. We got to be able to cast them down through the spirit. I'm going to get this. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 25. It reads, "Heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop, but a good word maketh it glad." So again, this overthinking spirit can also have, some of us be real sad, depressed, down and out. Oh, nobody loves me. Nobody's thinking about me. Oh my gosh, this truth is so hard. I don't know if I can endure. I'm dealing with this spirit and I just haven't been able to shake it yet. And it's been X, Y, and Z amount of time. Man, I didn't do good today. Dang, I wasn't as submissive today. Oh man, well now maybe I should just give it. I shouldn't even try. This is just too much. And I just want to sit here. I just want to lay in the bed all day. I don't want to do nothing. Don't talk to me. I'm just going to go separate myself. Whatever the case is, all that trickle down effect, that all these things create a heaviness in the heart of man. And it says it maketh it stoop. Let's get the definition of stoop. Stoop. Bend one's head or body forward and downward. Or two, lower one's moral standards so far as to do something reprehensible. So an example of that, they got Craig wouldn't stoop to thieving. She was unwilling to believe that anyone could stoop so low as to steal from a dead woman. And sorry, I was trying to see if they had another one. No. So basically, it makes your heart stoop. It makes you stoop. It brings you to a really low state. And we know that if you are brought to that low state, you're brought down so low, and now it's harder to get up. Versus when you're reading these precepts, you're rebuking Satan, you're rebuking the spirit of overthinking, you're getting into the word, you're getting counsel from, a sister, your husband, whatever the case may be, and you're having that positive, good word being brought to you, it makes your heart glad. It brings you back up from that lower state, from being stooped, from being all bent over and sad and down and out and just the bottom of the barrel type of situation. That good word maketh it glad. And we know that these words of life are good. Reading is good. So also too, another tip, when we are overthinking, we gotta always resort back to the words of the Most High. We always gotta resort back to the words of the Most High, because that is our foundation, or at least supposed to be in this truth. We're always supposed to resort back to Yahweh Shemel Shai, these words of life, these law, statutes, commandments, because that's how we gauge and base. Okay, am I really, just going on a tangent, overthinking about stuff that isn't, thus saith the Lord, isn't in alignment with the scriptures? Or am I thinking about this and it's profitable for me, it's profitable for my spirit, it's not making me, heavy in wickedness and, making my heart stoop? So this is Proverbs 15 and 13. It reads, "A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken." And this is something that a lot of the times, again, as women, saying he knows that we're the weaker vessel. He knows we're the
What?
weaker. Oh, Slakia, go ahead.
No, I was saying what precept was that?
That was Proverbs 15 and 13.
Okay.
So Satan knows that, we're the weaker vessel. He knows that, we're emotional at times. Sometimes, a lot of the times, we got these hormones, we got these up and downs, we got cycles and all this type of stuff going on. Satan knows that he is crafty and he's going to play on that whenever he can. If he sees that, hey, I know this sister, she might have had a hard week, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna throw this monkey wrench in there. Okay, I'm gonna have her at odds with her husband. I'm gonna have her at odds with her mom, her dad, whoever. I'm gonna get her out the spirit with her children. Now she's lacking patience with her children. Saying he plays on stuff like that. And now you're thinking, dang, well, I got this going on, I got the kids going on, I gotta serve my husband, dang, I gotta figure out what to eat, what we're gonna eat for the week, dang, the laundry backed up, dang, I got this going on, dang, I'm still trying to go back to school, dang, I'm trying to help provide for the household as well. And this, now you're overthinking, like, dang, I don't know if I can do this. It's just too much. You know what? I'm just done. We don't want to give into those thoughts. Because what? By the sorrow of the heart, the spirit is broken. So it's that overthinking spirit can get you to feeling down and sad through the spirit. Now your spirit is broken. Now you're so caught up and overwhelmed with the thoughts of Satan and everything that's going wrong, seemingly, that you're not able to have that merry heart and have that cheerful countenance that you would if you were to rebuke those thoughts. If you were to jump in the word, listen to an exhortating video, get into the book of Psalms. I feel like the book of Psalms is an amazing book to go through when you just really just have that broken spirit through the spirit. And granted, it's not always bad to have that broken spirit, because what? When the Lord say that a broken and a contrite spirit, let's get it. This is Psalms chapter 34 in verse 18. It reads, "The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit." So I'm gonna get 19 too. Heat. It says, "Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all." So we also want to remember too, the Most High, He places, certain responsibilities on us, certain things on us, and the spirit of conviction within us, and gives us a conscience to be able to be in a godly sorrow. And there's a difference between a godly sorrow and just a wicked, overwhelmed, and depressive sorrow. because we want a godly sorrow when, we might have gone off, we weren't moving in the fruits of the spirit, we're, falling to this sin, lust of the flesh, whatever the case may be. We want to have a godly sorrow about that, because that sorrow prompts us to Most High willing, supposed to be crying to the Most High, asking for His forgiveness, asking for His mercy, so that we can then do better. Versus you just, okay, well, I sinned, I went off, it is what it is. But in this case, where we have overthinking and we're getting sad, and now we're, falling into pits of either anxiety or depression, whatever the case may be, we got to know that the Most High doesn't call us to be dwelling in that spirit. This is 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7. It reads, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." So we got to always meditate on this. When the spirit of overthinking come, we got to remember this. The Most High has given us the spirit of a sound mind. So if we're having multiple thoughts just racing through your head, you walking around the house mad, looking like you just lost your dog just died, you just down and out, mad, angry, mugging at folks, whatever the case is, the Most High didn't give that spirit to us. We gotta know that that's from Satan, because the Most High has given us a sound mind, spirit of power, spirit of love. So if we're not, you know, making sure that we're rebuking Satan when these thoughts come, when we're not having a sound mind, peace within us, we got to pray, we got to fast that thing off, lest it overtake us and overthrow us. Because a lot of times, and I don't know, some of y'all might have seen it, but sometimes in this truth, people, they fall out because of the heavy things that they might have to deal with. Whatever lot the Most High deemed fit for them, they felt like it was just too much. And ultimately, you think about these things before you do them. People, they think about robbing, stealing, killing, you know, hating, and resentment. All that stuff starts with the thoughts, starts with the inward, and then it comes out. Then it comes to light. So that's why it's important to make sure that we're having control over our thoughts. It's very, very, very vital. Let me get this. This is Jeremiah chapter 42 in verse 3. Now, switching gears a little bit, because sometimes it's not always like okay, I'm overthinking myself into depression or anxiety or fear, whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's just overthinking about, you know, carnal things. It could be just, dang, I don't got no job, and dang, I need to find this job. Dang, these bills due in 3 days, and we ain't got the money, and oh man, we gonna be on the street. Oh, we got these kids. How are they gonna eat? How are we gonna get these clothes? Oh, dang, how are we gonna make it to this feast day? Dang, how is this gonna happen? Oh, that's overthinking as well. Now you just you taking thought of tomorrow, and what did the Lord say? This is Matthew chapter 6 and verse 31. It reads, "Therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof." So the Lord is saying right here, like the Lord already knows. Yahweh Shemel Shai already knows everything you need. He knows that you need a job. He knows that you need funds to make it in the society. He knows that you got to eat. You got to have clothes. You got to, keep these high holy days, these feast days, whatever the case may be, whatever you might be stressing over. The Lord already knows it. The Lord has preordained our whole lives from the beginning, from the time that we came into our mother's womb, from the time that we depart from this place. He has it already mapped out from the beginning. The Lord knew that some of us would lose jobs and knew that some of us would, lose friends, know that some of us will give birth, know that some of us will, go through this in our marriage, go through that argument, go through this situation, this, mishap, the car troubles, this and that. The Lord already knew it from the beginning. And a lot of the times, we take on more than what the Most High called us to hold. That's why he says right there, take no thought for tomorrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Leave that for tomorrow. That's tomorrow's problem. Why are you thinking about that today? That has nothing to do with you today. Do what's in your control today, what you can control. And the rest, that's where faith comes in. That's where you got to trust the Most High and be like, you know what? I don't know how XYZ gonna get done. I don't know what's gonna happen, but hey, I'm gonna trust in you. How about your Shai? He got it. I'm giving it to him. And don't just say, okay, I'm gonna give it to the Lord. Truly give it to the Lord. And move throughout the day, enjoy and in the spirit, the fruits of the spirit, and not, oh man, you sad, walking around mad, you defrauding yourself of a good day. Let me get that. It's Iraq. This is Iraq 14 and verse 14. It reads, defraud not thyself of the good day, and let not the part of a good desire overpass thee. So we don't want to be taking every day, we overthinking things, sad, mad, anxious, lacking faith, all because we can't control our thoughts. Because it's a huge difference between the sister that's saying, what is this? What I'm going to do about this? I got to make this happen. This, and this. Oh man, I forgot about that. I still got to do this. Da, 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 da. How I'm going to make this happen? Da, da, da. Versus the sister that's like, okay, I know I can control XYZ. That's what I'm going to focus on today. The rest, I'm giving it to the Lord. I'm moved by my day in grace. I'm going to move with peace within my spirit. And I'm not going to overthink. I'm going to control what I can control. Whatever is for tomorrow, that's tomorrow's problem. Cross that bridge when we get to it. But you don't want to defraud yourself of the good day, because days can easily turn into weeks, months, and now you don't look back a year done passed. A year done passed, and you done spent the whole year stressed, depressed. Now your health affected. You might have got bigger, or you might have got skinnier because you're just overthinking. You're anxious, depressed, stressed. That's not what the Most High has called for us. That's not the good expected end that the Most High has for us. Just be stressed and depressed and down and low. No, He wants us to have faith in Him, to trust in Him that He will take care of us. Just like we would do anything for our children, those of us who have children, it's the same thing in the Most High. The same thing with the Most High. He's our Heavenly Father. We're His daughters. We're His children. So He's going to make sure that we're taken care of, that we have everything that we need for today. But we got to trust and believe that. This is Proverbs 3 and verse 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. So we got to continuously acknowledge the Most High in our ways. We got to make sure that we're being a light unto others. We're making sure that we're not just saying, oh yeah, I have faith, but actually showing it in our works. And a lot of times that could be our countenance. You saying, okay, I have faith that the Most High gonna, work it out to where, okay, our rent gets paid. But yet you're moving around sad, you won't get out the bed. Oh, how I'm gonna do this? You're snapping on people, out the spirit. You're not trusting in the Most High fully. You don't truly trust that the Most High already has it worked out. You lean on your own understanding. That'd be a lot of times with the spirit of overthinking too. You lean on your own understanding. You're thinking, dang, well, he thought about this, and he meant to hurt me about this, or she meant to hurt me about this, and they have this malicious intent towards me, and they, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the situation. Let's see. Well, I told him, okay, this could be your husband. I told him that I needed him to, I don't know, fix this, I don't know, hair dryer. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there. He said that he was gonna fix it today, and it hasn't been fixed yet, and here it is tomorrow. It's still not fixed. But he just don't care. He just wants me to be looking dusty. He wants my hair to be looking crazy. I don't know. I'm just coming up with a scenario. But now you lean on your own understanding because you're overthinking it. You're thinking everything is about you. That's how Satan like to get you too. You're only thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about other people and what might really be the truth. Because in all reality, he had a long day at work. He got caught up talking with, giving counsel with for another brother or whatever the situation might be, or simply he just forgot. There wasn't no ill intent behind it. He just forgot. You just need a reminder. You got all this other stuff going on. Just need a reminder. So that's what the spirit of overthinking can lead you to too. But we got to make sure that again, in all of our ways and all of our thoughts, we acknowledge Yahweh Shemiel Shai so that He can direct our path in the way that we should go. But as soon as we start leaning on our own understanding, start creating narratives and scenarios in our heads of what people think and what people meant by that, and oh this and that, and okay, how's this situation gonna play out? Then we're making ourselves an idol now. We believe we got control over the situation when we really don't got no control over the situation. Everything is of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. This is His program, and nobody is bigger than the program. So this is Psalms chapter 32 and verse 8. It reads, I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee with mine eye. So a lot of the times too, we be trying to figure this thing out by ourselves. Dang, well, I'm trying to figure out, well, how can I beat this spirit? How can I do this? I'm trying to gain some better study habits, and how am I gonna be able to increase in this truth? What more works can I bring forth to magnify Yahweh Shemir Shai? How can I help the nation? How can I help my congregation? How can I help my husband, my children? And now you're like, dang, well, I don't know what to do. And I'm looking here and looking there. But we gotta continuously go back to the creator. Yahweh Shemir Shai. We have to go to Him because He's the one who instructs us. He's the one that teaches us in the way we should go. And He's the one that guides us through the Spirit. We got to go to Him for everything. Even sometimes, some sisters, they have dreams. It might be a dream that really shake you up and be like, dang, the Lord said, that, dreams, they can lift up fools, roughly paraphrasing. I don't know if this is just, you know, a dream that I should be taking heed to or not. I don't know, but it's like a really heavy, deep dream. I don't know. Maybe I should just try to look into this. I don't know if I should, you know, act on this or tell somebody about this or is this prophecy. I don't know. That's where you go to the Most High. You go to the Most High, and He will guide you, instruct you, teach you, let you know, hey, that dream that was just Satan. That dream don't even take no heed to that. Or it might be you might want to really take heed to that. Take heed to that. I gave you that dream. But the point is, we always want to resort back to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, but not going down the path of overthinking. We just got to continuously return to prayer, pray without ceasing, and asking the Most High to guide us in every aspect of our lives. This is the book of Philippians, chapter 4 and verse 6, and I'm going to stop at verse 8. It reads, be careful for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Hamashiach Yahweh. So pausing right there really quick. So we don't want to be careful for nothing. If we notice that there's a spirit on us of overthinking, or even if somebody else points it out, like, or you're thinking too much, you're doing too much. Nobody was even, you spiraling. You're spiraling in your mind right now. Be careful for nothing. Don't just brush it off. Oh, sometimes I'm just an overthinker. Oh yeah, that's just me. That's just what it is. It's how I am. No, we're not claiming that. We gotta pray. We gotta in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. We gotta let our requests be made known unto God. We gotta ask the Most High, like, how about me, how shy? Please remove the spirit of overthinking from me. If I'm thinking things that I shouldn't be thinking, if I'm stressing too much, if I'm, taking matters into my own hands, trying to at least. If I have a spirit of control over me, Lord, please purge it from me. And also in verse 7, where it says, "And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through whom Yahushua," is powerful. Because when we do, make sure that we're coming to the Most High, asking Him to purge these certain spirits of overthinking, stress, anxiety, depression, all these things from us, then we will have that peace of Yahweh Yahushua, that peace of God that passeth all understanding. Like, Lord, I don't know how XYZ is going to get done. I don't know how the situation is going to play out, but Lord, I trust in you. That's peace of the Most High within you that passes all understanding. Got other people like, dang, it's really chaotic over here. This relationship is in turmoil. You got, your financial situation in turmoil, but you're about to lose XYZ, but hey, you got the peace of God that passes all understanding. It's gonna be okay. Even if it looks bad, even if it looks ugly, even if it seems like you should be thinking about how to fix this or fix that, or whatever the case may be, we have that peace that's going to keep our heart and our minds through Hamashiach Yahushua. Always meditating on the good things, the promises of the Most High, these law, statute, commandments, the fruits of the Spirit. Verse 8, this is Philippians 4 and 8. "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things." And this is the key. This is the key too, to, again, having that peace that keeps our minds and our hearts through Yahweh Shemi Shai. Because as soon as we start shifting the focus, because again, like we said, this truth is a mind game. As soon as we start shifting the focus from, dang, this is going on, dang, I'm catching hell, dang, I'm going through this affliction, this tribulation, this and this in my marriage, this and this with my children, this and this with this sister, whatever the case is, and we start shifting it to, man, I'll praise the Most High, I got somewhere to stay. The rent might be late. It might not be paid, but the Most High still got him to where we got somewhere to stay. All praise the Most High, I got somewhere to sleep. All praise the Most High, I ate today. All praise the Most High that I got breath in my body. I got my health. All praise the Most High, I got the ability to see. I got the ability to feel, to touch, hear, experience things. All praise the Most High, I got this truth. Everybody don't got that. All praise the Most High, I know who I am according to God. All praise the Most High that, I have mercy. All praise the Most High for another day. There's so many things that we have to be grateful for. There's so many things that we can meditate on and think about that are true, that are honest, that are just, that are lovely, that are pure, of good report. These are the things that we want to be thinking on. You want to overthink about something, overthink about the good stuff. Because that's what Satan wants. He wants you to overthink about the bad stuff, everything that's going wrong in your life. Dang, this ain't paid. Dang, I ain't got this much money. Dang, I ain't got this amount of whatever. That's what Satan wants. That's how he sifts some people out of this truth. Just overthinking about all the bad things that are going on. Letting their sins weigh them down. Let me get that piece up really quick. Second Ezra 7. This is Second Ezra chapter 7. And let me get this is good too. Let me get this first. This is Second Ezra 7 and 47. It reads, "For what profit is it for men now in this present time to live in heaviness, and after death to look for punishment? So even going back to the previous point I was saying, okay, you don't let days, weeks, months, years go by. You're just living in heaviness. You're not taking you're defrauding the good day, walking around sad, mad, angry, depressed, anxious, just all these demons just living all up in your vessel. You're not trying to pray it off. You're not trying to fight against the spirits, fight against the thoughts that are not just pure of the Most High. And now you're just living in heaviness. And now you done gave it, the Most High is like, okay, this is not even trying to fight. She's not even trying to fight against these spirits. You just give her over to it. And now you're looking for punishment after death. Now you're destroyed because you went back to the world, you went back to your flesh, you couldn't endure, you couldn't rebuke Satan. You just let Satan overtake you, overtake your vessel. And we don't want that. We don't want that for us. We don't want that. Hold on. This is Second Ezra chapter 16. And I'm gonna start at verse 74. It reads, Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for God is your guide, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord God. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities, like as a field is covered over with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, that no man may travel through. It is left undressed and is cast into the fire to be consumed therewith. So we don't want to be that. We don't want to be covered over, bound with our sins, covered over with bushes. Instead of being that pretty field with flowers, you got yellow flowers, pink flowers, purple, white, you got all the nice garden and all that's going on. And now you're just covered over with bushes, thorns, weeds, vines, all types of stuff. It's crazy and it's chaotic and it's madness. You don't want that to be your mind. Your mind is just covered in madness, thorns, things that hurt, things that are unnecessary, things that are depleting the nutrients, if you can hear what I'm saying, of the field. It's an unfruitful field. We don't want our minds to be an unfruitful field. We want to make sure that we have a clear path. Because if not, if we leave our minds, our spirits undressed, meaning you're not going in there, you're cutting weeds out, you're throwing stuff away, picking up the weeds, throwing that out of there, tending to the soil, tending to the plants in there, you're going to be overthrown. It's going to be cast into the fire and burnt up. And we don't want to be burnt up. We want to make it to the kingdom. We want to be 1/3. Most are willing, And we got to also remember too, because this might be some sisters too. You might be overthinking about the times that we're coming in, the times that we're living in. Jacob's trouble. Might be overthinking about that. Dang, what I'm going to do? Man, how am I eat? I know we eat every day here, or besides when we're fasting, we eat regularly. We get to go out and have fun and do this and come to the feast days, and we get to live every day and we have our routines and da da da. How's it gonna be in Jacob's trouble? Oh my gosh, man, it's gonna be a famine. There ain't gonna be no water. Ain't gonna be no this and that, and now you're overthinking about the end times. But the Most High, He didn't call us to overthink about that time, because He said what? The days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So what are we overthinking about? We know the Lord is not a man that he shall lie. So if he says that he will deliver us from the same, and be not afraid, neither doubt, because he's our guide and the guide of those that keep the commandments and the precepts, we good. So if you're keeping the commandments, you're keeping the precepts, you're keeping the laws, don't let these things weigh you down. Dang, I went off. I wasn't being I don't know. I wasn't being as chaste in my speech. I wasn't being as shamefaced. I wasn't being as submissive or graceful with my husband, or with others. I was moving in the fruits of the spirit with that person that last week. Man, I wasn't being a light. Oh, dang, I forgot to do this. Dang, I didn't read as much as I should have. Dang, now you letting your sins weigh down. That's overthinking too. If you've already asked the Most High for forgiveness, you got to believe that, okay, I prayed. I truly, sincerely want to do better. I'm putting forth the works, the effort to be better. Okay, I have faith that the Most High, He's forgiven me. He's blotted that out. Thus saith the scriptures. So now we got to forgive ourselves. We don't want to put on a heavy burden onto ourselves when the Most High has already forgiven us. Thinking about stuff that you did in the world. Dang. Oh, man. I was with this person, that person. Dang, I was eating that pork. Dang, I was, XYZ, whatever the case, whatever wickedness that, folks have done in the world. You think about that, oh my gosh, I might be destroyed because I did this in the world. Dang, I got these tattoos. Dang, I got this, I got that. Whatever the case is, you overthinking. You're overthinking. The Lord has already had mercy on you because you're in the truth. You repented. You changed. Converted yourself. So now you have to not allow your sins and your iniquities to weigh you down. You have to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, learn from it, and do better. Let me see. This is okay. This is Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 3. It reads, "Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee." So a lot of the times if we find ourselves, struggling with the overthinking spirit, is because our mind is not stayed on the Most High. How is your mind stayed on the Most High if you're thinking about everything that's going wrong? How are you gonna do this? How is this gonna get done? How is this situation gonna get worked out? You're not. You got to think about the Most High. Keep your mind on the Most High, and He's gonna give you that perfect peace. He's gonna silence those thoughts, calm your spirit down, because you trust in the Most High. You trust in His words. You trust that, hey, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's happening. There's a lot going on. I need the Lord. Lord, I'm giving this to you. Please handle this. Please figure this out for us. Whatever the case may be, we trust in you, Lord. And then you get that peace, and you have to practice that peace. You have to practice that peace because Satan, he's not gonna stop. Okay, well, she prayed to the Most High. She prayed to the Most High that she would stop overthinking. That she said that she gave it to the Lord. Well, I'm just gonna sit over here. No, we're still in a spiritual warfare. So we're still going to have to fight. We're still going to have to rebuke the thoughts when they come, because they're going to come. And that's how we practice that perfect peace. Rebuking those thoughts, replacing them with righteous thoughts, those things that are lovely, those things that are just, pure, etc. Let me give this. This is Jeremiah chapter 29 and verse 11. It reads, and I'm going to get 12 and 13. It reads, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me and find me, when ye shall search for me with all your heart." So just laying back on what I was saying, we got to seek the Most High actively. When we are under spiritual attack, when we have the spirit of overthinking on us, stressing, anxious, whatever spirit it is, we got to continuously seek the Most High. Not just seek the Most High, okay, I found out about the truth and I'm seeking the Most High. Okay, let me find out how to break this down. Okay, what precept goes with this? Okay, what spirit? Okay, I can cut that up. I can show them this at the cookout and tell them they're going on because they're not supposed to be celebrating XYZ and this and that. No, we got to continuously seek the Most High for ourselves. And that's how we find Him. That's how we find Yahweh Shemel Shai. That's how we find that peace within us when we search with all of our heart, when we're continuously trying to rebuke these thoughts, replacing them with precepts, meditating on the precepts. Let me get this. This is the book of John, chapter 14, and verse 27. It reads, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. And we know that the heart and the mind are used simultaneously, synonymously in the scriptures. So we don't want to let our minds be troubled or be afraid because of the things that's going on around us, what happens while we're in captivity, that happens with, even these spirits. We got to know that this is red letters. How was I talking? He's saying, my peace I leave with you, I give unto you. So we got to know, hey, Yahweh Shai, he gives us a peace that, again, it passes all understanding. People in the world are gonna be like, why are you not stressed? You're not sure about this? You got to lose XYZ. You got this going on. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. But you have the peace that surpasses all understanding. It don't make sense to some people. It's not gonna make sense to some people. But that's where faith comes into play.
What precept was that?
That was John 14 and verse 27.
Okay, I got it.
Come, come. Let me get this too in John. This is John chapter 10 and verse 10. It reads, the thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. This is Yahushua speaking too. So we know that thief is Satan. Satan, he's coming to steal joy, kill your spirit, destroy you, have you be a part of 2/3, be destroyed. When Yahushua comes back, that's what Satan wants. To steal, kill, and destroy. And we can't let that happen. We can't let that happen. We have to fight. We have to protect our vessels. We have to protect our spirits. Because Yahushua came so that we might have life and have it more abundantly. But we got to make sure that we're doing our part as well and fighting against these spirits, not giving in to them, is being like, okay, well, I see the thief is breaking into my house. Here it is. Here's my prized possessions, thief. Here you go. Here's my crown that Yahushua gave me. Here it is. We don't want to be like that in the spirit. And that's how it is. When we let Satan come in and kill our spirit, our joy, walking around depressed, angry, mad, sad, anxious, scared, that's Satan. That's Satan. And we gotta rebuke. We gotta get better at rebuking Satan and recognizing when it is Satan. So we can snap out of it and be brought back down to earth, figuratively speaking. Let me get this is the book of Luke, chapter 1 and verse 79. It reads, to give light to them that sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace. So, again, Yahweh Shem Shai, he's that light. These law, statutes, commandments are a light unto us. That lamp, like it says in Proverbs. But we got to make sure that we are wanting to walk out of that darkness, being set apart, not just, okay, well, I'm in this truth, I'm keeping law, statutes, commandments, but truly and actively walking in the way of peace, walking out of that shadow of death, lest we get swallowed up in that darkness. Okay, let's see. Proverbs 23 and verse 7. Proverbs 23 and 7 reads, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. So you want to make sure, we all want to make sure that we're, again, having a strong monitoring system over our thoughts and the thoughts that we entertain, and let's sit and fester. And now you're thinking about this. At first you was thinking about, okay, I don't know. What's an example? Okay. You're gonna say, okay, weed, for example. You might struggle with weed in the world. Smoking weed. So you okay, you walking down the street, you left out the grocery store, you get a whiff of weed. Somebody pass by you, they smell like straight weed. You're like, dang. I ain't thinking about, dang, I remember that time when me and my homegirls, we stayed out late, did the hot box smoke. dang, that was a good time. We was vibing, listening to music. And then when you get to the car, you're like, dang, let me play that song we used to play all the time when we used to smoke. Not a song talking about smoking, drinking, getting drunk. And now you in the car, you vibing to it. Dang, okay, hold on now. And now you think start to go through your photo album. Now you scrolling through your photos, looking at pictures of, I don't know why it would be in there anyway, but looking at pictures of blunts you don't roll, times you had in the world, skimpy clothes on, the whole nine. Dang, I ain't talked to her in so long. Oh my gosh, we used to have the best time together. That was my girl in the world. Now you, now you done looking through your contact. Now you done hit her up. Hey girl, how you been doing? Don't you know I'm just doing this like thing? Da, da, da. Well, girl, you should come over one time. Da, da, da. Now you done went over there. You know she smoked. Now you in a situation. She passing it to you. You like, well, you know, well the herb did come from the earth. No, no. See, and now it's you didn't have that control. You didn't have that control over your thoughts. You didn't have that control over your thoughts. Now you in a messed up situation, and now you're back smoking. Lord forbid. But that's just an example that the things that you think in your heart, so is you. So if you're thinking all the time about how about Shemir Shai, thinking about the kingdom, thinking about righteousness, you meditating on the law, the precepts, how you can be better, that's what you're going to be. You're going to be better. You're going to be righteous. But if you're constantly thinking about madness, folly, worrying, all these things, you're going to be finished. You're going to be destroyed. You're not going to be profitable to the Most High. We know the Most High does not need us. If we're not producing righteous fruits, we're going to be cut down, cast out, thrown into the fire. So we got to take this seriously. What we think is what we are. The thoughts that we allow to stay in our vessel, the things that we allow to stay in our minds, that's what we're going to be. And let me get this in Second Corinthians chapter 10. I'm going to start at verse 3 and I'm going to go to 5. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. So we gotta really meditate on this one, because yes, we're walking in this flesh. Yes, we're in captivity. You gotta work. You gotta do things in this captivity. You gotta pay bills. You gotta do this. Whatever the case is, just to survive on a carnal sense. We don't war after the flesh. Everything is not just, oh, okay, well, they just said that and that's what it is, and we gotta do what we gotta do here. And no, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They're spiritual. We're a spiritual people. We're not like the other nations that just do things. They do whatever they feel. They move how they move. Just however they feel, that's how they do. That's not us. Whatever they think, they act on it. However they feel, that's how they act. It's just, no, that's not us. That's not how we're supposed to be. So when we have these wicked thoughts, when we have these overthinking, these times where we're overthinking and we're stressed and we're depressed and we're having a sad, low countenance, our heart is stoop, this is where we got to cast down these imaginations. And the imaginations start in the mind. So casting down the thoughts and every high thing that exalteth itself is against the knowledge of the Most High, and that's the law, statutes, commandments. Because the Lord told you, take no thought of tomorrow, but you take a thought of tomorrow. You got to cast that down. You're thinking about, dang, this truth is too hard. I can't do it. I don't know why I'm not growing yet. Dang, I thought this was gonna happen by this time. It still hasn't happened yet. Dang, I've been in this season for so long. What's going on? Dang, this is going on in my marriage. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. You got to cast those imaginations down, because those things can exalt itself over the knowledge of the Most High if you let it. But we want in our vessels the knowledge of the Most High to be top priority over everything. We want it to encompass everything that we are and everything that we think. So we got to bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of the Most High. Yahweh Shem Shai. If it ain't got nothing to do with the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai, if it's going contrary to what the Most High said, what the Most High promised us, we could cast that thing down and cast it out far from us. This is Ephesians 6 and 12. It reads, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Because a lot of the times, again, I think a lot of people don't realize, but there's things on the right hand side and on the left hand side. Just like how we praise in the Most High, and we got, you know, these intercessions for us through the spirit, and we got this going on in the spirit on the righteous hand side. There's also things on the left hand side. You got wicked people out here doing witchcraft, consulting with familiar spirits. That stuff isn't just fairy tale land. That stuff is real. The stuff is real. Just like it's on the right hand side, we're beseeching the Most High. You got somebody out there right now praying on a downfall of the Israelites. Folks trying to do right. The people of the Most High praying that we get sifted out this truth, praying that we don't make it to the kingdom. Believe it or not, but it happens, and it's happening. So we got to make sure that we know in our mind, okay, we're not wrestling against flesh and blood here. We wrestling against some demons. And this overthinking spirit is just that, a spirit, a demon. And we can overcome it. We just got to want to. We got to fight. We got to wrestle against that. So let me get this. And let me get this in Sirach. Sirach chapter 30 and verse 21. It reads, "Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel." This is just a precept laying back on what we've been talking about this whole time. Not to give ourselves over to heaviness. Don't allow yourself to go down that loophole, that rabbit hole of just being sad, depressed, lacking faith, out of the spirit. We don't want to give our minds over to that, because the mind is a powerful thing. People study the mind. You got neurologists, you got people that study psychology. The mind is a beautiful, powerful thing. And just like you have people who are super, super smart, super successful in the spirit, they have, beautiful intellect. They can remember a whole bunch of things. They could teach people. They could do this. They could do that. You can also got, on the other hand, people who are bugged out, people who are psychopaths, sociopaths, people who have weird, nasty imaginations and fantasies, and they hurt people and they manipulate people and they do all this type of stuff. It's both ways, but it's all starts in the mind. So we got to make sure that we're not giving our minds over to heaviness, giving it over to wickedness, things that are not of Yahweh Shem Shai, and also not afflicting ourselves in our own counsel. Because again, people do that as well. They start thinking things, saying, "Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I can't make it in this truth." And now you can give yourself over to heaviness. You're afflicting yourself in your own counsel. Well, in all actuality, you can make it. You can do it. It's just all about how you think. Just like the precept back in Proverbs. So, let me go back to it. Proverbs 23 and 7. "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." So we gotta keep this in mind. We gotta keep this in mind. Um, I'm gonna end it off with this in Matthew. Yahushua's words. We got Matthew 19 and verse 26. It reads, "But Yahushua beheld them and said unto them, With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." So all praise to the Most High. It's possible. We can beat these spirits that try to plague us. If we get caught up in this overthinking spirit, we can cast that thing off. we can have peace from the Most High. We can go through our day-to-day lives in peace. We just got to want it and pursue it and seek it, and we shall find it. And all praise to the Most High for another Sisters Call. And Lord willing, we'll be back on here again next Sabbath, Most High willing. We do have new moon tomorrow night. Lord willing, it is a beautiful feast for everyone. And Khan, if anybody had anything, this is the time. If not, I'm gonna bid y'all a mighty shalawam.
I'm missing a couple of precepts, like 3 of them. I don't know if I got the numbers right. I know Isaiah, Jeremiah, and John.
Okay. Um, I did record this. So I'm gonna upload this as ASAP. Because I know I brought out a couple on here. Hold on. Let me stop recording.